Human can either be an angel or a devil, and that choice is wholly up to each person. I've dated a devil. I've also realized that it takes only 1 second for a person I thought was an angel to turn into a devil. My ex-boyfriend, Nick, was very sweet. When he drove me home after dating one day, I realized I had left my wallet in his car, so I went back and heard him talking to himself in his car.
Damn it, Nick, be patient. The more you wait, the more thrilling it will be.
He was talking to himself with a knife and a duct tape in his hand. I was surprised to see a new side of him, but I pretended that I didn't hear him and called his name because I thought I would be in big trouble if he picks up on it. Then, in an instant, he hid his knife and looked at me with a friendly facial expression. I was so appalled, and I wanted to break up with him, but first I thought I should gradually disentangle myself from him. A few days later, he called and asked me out on a date, but when I said no, he yelled at me.
You don't want to date me? Then I'll force you to date me.
And from that day on, the nightmare began. One day, he was hiding in front of my house, and when I bumped into him, he came running with a knife, shouting,
Do you want to become prettier? I'll perform plastic surgery on your face.
He swung the knife at me in the face, and I fell down as I tried to avoid it and crawled to the front door. Then he put the knife over my waist and shouted,
Would you like to get liposuction too?
I screamed and ran into the house. Then he pointed at me outside the window and shouted,
Manager, how much is this pig?
He looked at me and kept laughing. When I shouted that I'm going to call the police, he quickly ran away. And after a while, I got a text message from him. The text read, Doesn't it hurt? And a video was attached. When I played it, I found that it was a video of him stabbing a pillow with my picture on it with his knife, recklessly. I shuddered in shock. The next morning, when I looked at my phone, I saw that I've received 100 text messages from him. The text messages read, There's no way you can avoid me except dying. The moment you wake up would rather be in the beginning of a nightmare. If you want to live, come back to me, then I'll wake you up from your nightmare. I vomited and called the police. He seemed to have settled down after being warned by the police, but this wasn't the end. After a while, he sent me a text message saying he was sorry, and he came to my house again. As soon as he saw me, he knelt down, begged, and wept. I felt sorry for him, and when I told him that I'll accept his apology if he goes back home, he shouted, suddenly running towards me.
If this doesn't work, we have no choice but to meet in our next life.
Then he strangled me. I screamed in pain, and he continued.
Please remember me, even when you're reborn, Amanda.
I screamed for help, and he covered my mouth with his hand. Help me!
Shh, my love.
I bit his hand with all my might, and he screamed and removed his hand. Blood flowed from his hands.
Ah! How dare you bite me? Oh, yes. If you want to become a dog, I'll treat you like a dog.
He unfastened his belt and whipped me as if it were a whip. I ran out to the front door and dashed off. He followed me closely, but when he saw the neighbors who came outside after hearing me scream, he ran away. I blocked his number and texted him that I will call the police if he shows up one more time. I haven't heard from him since then, and I don't know what happened to him. I don't even want to think about it again. Perhaps, at this moment, another woman may become his victim.